Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of the Anatomy of Knitting podcast. My name is Erin and I'll be your host. Today is May 7th, 2012. It is a beautiful sunny day in Seattle, and I'm going to get to podcasting. This week is probably going to be cat interrupted and a little bit shorter. I haven't really done in comparison to other weeks, I haven't really done a lot of knitting or spinning this week, so I don't have as much to talk about as I did last week, but I would like to podcast and give you the results of the contest. So in this episode, I'll give a bit of thanks. I'll talk about what's been on the needles. I'm going to skip what's off the needles because I didn't finish anything this week. I'll do a little bit of spinning, and then I'll do the contest results. So let's get started. So a bit of thanks. I'd like to thank everyone who entered into the contest thread. I was a little surprised that we had so much participation, but I'm really excited about it. Let's see. And I'm hoping with this next contest that you all will enjoy that one too. I think I've picked out some pretty good things to give away. And yeah, and I want to thank you for your patience because this is going to be a shorter episode. I haven't really gotten as much done in my stash room as I've wanted to the past week. So as soon as I finish podcasting, that's what I'm going to be working on. So thank you everyone, and let's get started. So what's on the needles? The first thing is the slimed socks, and these are the socks that I'm knitting out of the Indigo Dragonfly Merino sock in the I've Been Slimed colorway. Let's see, I've got everything out, and then here's their business card. So the last time you saw this pair of socks, I was still in progress on this first sock. As you can see, I finished it out and completed it. I've even sewn in all of the ends. I tend to do that before I start the second sock, just because I don't like, when I'm all done with both socks, having to weave in all the ends. I'm a little bit lazy, so I like to do it as soon as I finish. So this is my typical construction: 1 inch of ribbing, a bit of cuff, slip stitch heel turn, gusset, and stockinette stitch foot, and then just my standard toe. So that is the I've Been Slimed socks. And then the one that I'm working on currently, I haven't gotten too much work done on. Get that untangled. You'll see it's just a little bit of the cuff. I've gotten the ribbing done, and then just a little bit of the stockinette stitch cuff. I'm really enjoying working with this yarn. It's just a nice cushy base. And then I told you that as soon as I finished this sock, I was going to measure the ball. I was going to weigh them both and see if I had enough yarn. And I was correct in the fact that I have enough yarn to finish the pair of socks without having to worry about using a different yarn. So those are the slime socks. I've done a little bit of work at work on these. Not a whole lot because it was a bit of a busy work week, but just a little bit done. So that's the first thing that I've been working on, and then the second thing that I have been working on is the Washington Square vest that I've been knitting for my mom. And you'll remember the last time I showed you this, I was in the process of knitting this cabled part, which was sucking my soul. Thankfully, it is finally complete, like so. Let's see if I can stretch this down. This curling should totally be tamed by blocking when I'm all done. So that's how it looks. Even though I hated actually doing the process of this woven cable, I think the finished appearance of it is spectacular. It feels good when you put your hands on it, and it looks really, really nice. Like that. So I have switched back to the smaller needles that I'm knitting the stockinette stitch part of the body with, and these are US 5s, which are 3.75 millimeters. This is one thing that I like about the signature socks. You probably can't actually read it, but you can see that there's printing on there. It gives you not only the US size, but the millimeter size as well. So I've switched back to the US 5s, and then the amount of stockinette stitch portion that I've gotten done here, I think I got done in about 2 hours. So you can see how the car ride down to where my parents live usually would take like 1.5 of the repeats of the cable, and in just about the same amount of time I was able to knit, it looks like, nearly 2 inches of stockinette stitch. So you can see it's much, much faster. And then the other part about this is I'm back onto the lace portion here, and I'm also decreasing for the front. So let me see if I can find the picture here so I can kind of refresh you on what it looks like. Oh, it looks like I left the pattern downstairs. So the way that this goes is that the cable part is where the vest meets in the middle, and then as soon as you finish the cable part, it splits for a deep V-neck. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm doing the decrease row every 4 rows. Let's see, anything else? It's been a bit of a challenge to get back into the lace portion again, because I'd been working on the cable portion for so long, kind of reminding myself that the left cable is on the right and the right cable is on the left. It took a little bit of remembering in my head, and I think I've gotten back to the swing of things. So that is the vest. I think it's looking really, really nice. My mom is excited to get it. She really, really likes everything that she sees. She really enjoys the color and is just really excited to get this. So I'm not on track to get it finished by Mother's Day, which I believe is not this weekend, but next weekend. So I don't quite remember. No, it's next weekend, because my husband and I are going to be in Arizona to visit his mother, and we're going to be there for Mother's Day. So I won't be able to, I'm going to take this with me. I might get it done there, but I won't be able to give it to my mom before Mother's Day. So unfortunate there, but my mom is looking forward to getting it, and I actually found out that she watches my podcast on her Apple TV while she's ironing, which I think is awesome and hilarious. Because I know she hates to iron, so at least I'm giving her some entertainment. So, let's see. I think that's it. Let me check my notes. Oh, the other thing about the Washington Square vest, when I was working on that and I was still on the cable portion, last week I totally forgot to tell you all about this, but it happened before last week. But when I knit, I sometimes push the left-hand needle down with my right index finger, and I had actually poked a hole in my finger using the signature circulars, because they're really pointy. So this was the first time I'd ever gotten a knitting injury, which is a good thing, I guess, but it sort of put me a little bit out of commission for a few days, because when I was working on the slime socks, I would do the same thing, and because that needle is a little smaller, sometimes it would find that hole again and like re-poke it and re-injure it. So that's why there's not much knitting content this week. Let's see, I think that is it for On the Needles. So let's move on to spinning. So spinning this week, there hasn't been as much spinning as there was the week before. I am still working on the Border Leicester cross. I'm working on the last beehive that I have of the fleece. I think I've used about a third of it maybe. And then on the bobbin that I have for the e-spinner, the electric spinner that I showed you all last week, I have maybe about an inch to a third of an inch left to fill. So I'm hoping that the entirety of the beehive, which sounds like a lot, will fit on that bobbin. So I'm not super hopeful that it will. I think that I'll have to when I finish that bobbin, that there's going to be a certain amount left, and then I'm going to have to take that certain amount left and divide it in two and then spin that up in two separate bobbins. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to be finished with that fleece because then I can start another one because I have to pare down the fleece stash as well as the yarn stash. Let's see. Oh, I'm really excited to hear in all of the comments on the contest thread that you all really liked seeing the e-spinner, the Hanson mini spinner. I had been seeing them at the local fiber shows for the past couple of years, and I was really excited to get one. I actually used it as an incentive for myself. I was quite stupid in my youth and drove up some credit cards, had some decently high balances on some credit cards. And so right after I got married, I was really gung-ho about paying those off. And so I ended up paying those off in about a year and a half, which is really, really quick and excellent. And as an incentive for doing that, I was going to save up some money along with paying down those bills and then buy myself that e-spinner, the mini spinner. So it was a good incentive because I stuck to my guns and worked really hard to do that. And I really love that piece of equipment. And I don't remember if I've told you all this, but in July, the Hanson Craft Company is hosting a e-spinning retreat in Port Townsend, Washington, which is on the peninsula. It's on the west side of the state. And Judith McKenzie is going to be teaching there, and I was one of the lucky 15 that was able to get a spot with this class. I've been trying for a few cycles of classes to get into that spinning retreat, and so I'm really excited that I finally got into this one. Let's see, anything else I want to talk about spinning? I haven't washed those skeins that I finished in the past week. I need to do that. But again, things have been busy. I've been out of town and I just haven't gotten stuff done, unfortunately. So that's it for spinning this week. So now it's time for the results for the contest. And if you remember last week, I had two prizes up. The first one was the Keychain sock blocker plus a skein of sunshine yarns in the Maki colorway. And this was 100% superwash merino wool, about 450 yards. What are you doing? I have a cat that's going for this, so I'm going to take it away from her. And then the second contest prize was the knitted triangular lace shawl with undulating edgings. So that was that. And then it came with 3 skeins of this mohair. I believe it was just mohair. Oh, mohair and nylon yarn. So the winner of the shawl is Epic1313, who is Linda. So if you could please send me a private message on Ravelry, and I will get this out to you. I have the next 2 days off of work, so it's Monday the 7th. So if you get your address to me before the post office closes on Wednesday, I will be able to get this out to you. And then, excuse me, I got the frog in my throat. Excuse me. And then the second contest prize goes to Christine, and she's Christine on Ravelry. And so this is the Sunshine Yarns in the Maki colorway, and then the keychain as well. And then so Christine, if you could send me your address by PM. So those are the two prizes for last week, and then this upcoming week I'm going to do another contest. This one's going to be open for a couple of weeks because I won't be in town next week. I'm going to be on vacation. I will be, excuse me, take a little drink. See if that helps. So I'm going to be out of town next week, so this is the skipping week because this will be the third podcast in a row. And so the contest thread I'm going to open is going to be for episode 39, just like it was this week. The rules are that you have to be a member to enter, and you have to answer the question that I'm going to give. And let's see. There was one more thing that came up. Oh, you can be from out of the country. That's no problem. And let's see. There was one more thing. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, I will put it in the thread if it was something big and important, but since I can't remember, it probably wasn't. So there's no, like, project or keychain, it's just yarn this week. So one prize is going to be another skein of Sunshine Yarns, and this is in the Amazon colorway. This is 100% merino wool, and it's about 440 yards. Looks like it's kind of coming out of its skein here. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. So that's skein number 1. And this is pretty vintage Sunshine Yarns. I've had this skein for a while. And then prize number 2 is going to be 3 skeins of Barocco Ultra Alpaca, and this is the one that's 5 stitches per inch, knit on US 8. It is 215 yards per skein, and there's going to be 3 skeins of that. So that's prize number 2. And then prize number 3 is going to be 4 skeins of the Peace Fleece, and this is... Oh, it doesn't give me it on the outside. Like all the I keep getting fibers and stuff stuck to my lip gloss. There's no information on this, so let me just pull this up on Ravelry so I can give you accurate yardage information. Hooray for having my computer right next to me. So this is the Peace Fleece worsted. It is 200 yards per skein. It is 70% wool and 30% mohair, and it's a 2-ply yarn, I believe. And so this is 4 skeins, so that's 800 yards total that's going to be given away. So those are the 4 prizes. And then the question I'm going to ask you all to answer in the contest thread is, my husband and I are going to be going to Phoenix, Arizona next week. And I have never been there. So if you have any information or tips or yarn stores I should go visit, please put that in the thread. And then for those of you, because I don't want to make it unfair, those of you who have never been to Phoenix or the Southwest area, you could just talk about or tell me about a vacation that you've taken that you really enjoyed and where you went, and if there was any kind of yarny fun there, tell me about that. So the theme is vacation, and yeah, so just to give me kind of an update on what was fun for you, and then if you have any tips or tricks for me for my upcoming vacation, go ahead and put it in the thread. And so that thread, oh man, what did I do with my phone? I buried it. Ah, found it. So that thread will be open for 2 weeks. So my husband and I will be getting back in about 2 weeks, so I will be recording. I think I'll close the thread on Monday the 21st at midnight, and then I'll be recording on Tuesday the 22nd. I've got an appointment in the morning, but after that I should have a free day. So I'll be recording on the 22nd, and then I'll give the results then, and I'll have probably more to give away. So if you haven't won yet so far, don't fret. There's going to be lots more to come. And I think the thing that I was thinking of earlier, if you win a contest, I'm going to please request that you not try and win another contest. And I'll put the time limit for, let's say, about 6 months. That way, if you've won, I know some people have like really big good luck with these kinds of drawings. I personally am not one of them. I never win anything, so I'd like to make it a little more fair for those types of people. So if you've won, Epic1313 and Christine, I'm sorry to tell you that you are not eligible for this prize lot. So, and you won't be again for 6 months. So please be respectful of that rule. I'd like to make it fair for everyone, and let's see. I think that is about it. I don't know if you can see all this. There we go. We'll just pile the yarn. So, I think that's it for this episode. So that's it for episode, is it 39? For some reason I thought it was just 29. It is 39. Wow. That's a lot of episodes. So that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Sorry it's a bit of a short show, but I've got to get some things done here. And thank you for respecting that and letting me do that. Let's see. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to hearing all of your suggestions, tips and tricks for going to the Southwest area. And then if you all haven't been there, then looking and reading about your experiences on a vacation that you've really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to all that, and let's see. I guess I'll say goodbye and have a good week, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye!